All right, so you know how it is, right? The seasons change. Suddenly there's like a million new health things popping up in the news, and you just want to feel like, okay, my body's ready for whatever, right?
For sure, yeah. Feeling prepared.
Yeah, like you've got some resilience built in, you know? So that's exactly what we're diving deep into today. Simple, natural ways to seriously boost your immune system.
I love it.
And it's something everyone can benefit from, no matter where they're starting from.
Totally. To kick things off, let's break it down a bit. What exactly are we talking about when we say immune system? What's going on in there?
Well, you can picture it as this really amazing internal defense network, okay?
Yep.
It's your body's way of protecting you from, well, all those nasty things that are out there. Infections, bacteria, viruses, the whole lot.
Right. The stuff we can't even see, but that could really knock us down.
Exactly. And how it actually works is so fascinating. You've got these white blood cells, different kinds actually, like T cells and B cells, and they're like your little warriors.
Okay, love that image. And then you've got these special proteins called antibodies, and they're like the intel. You know, they recognize the enemy and signal the attack.
So it's a whole coordinated effort in there. Pretty wild when you think about it.
It really is. But here's the thing, right? Like any complex system, it needs the right support to function at its best.
Makes sense. And I guess that's where we come in, figuring out how to provide that support.
Exactly. And unfortunately, modern life kind of throws a lot of curveballs at our immune systems. I mean, think about it. Stress. We're all dealing with it, right?
Oh, yeah. That's like a given these days.
And then there's the lack of sleep. You know, those nights where you just toss and turn. Then maybe our diets aren't always as good as they could be, not drinking enough water, not moving enough. All these things, they can start to chip away at our immune defenses.
Ugh, that sounds all too familiar.
Yeah, it's like death by 1,000 paper cuts, you know?
So what we're doing today is really getting into the nitty-gritty of how to give that system a fighting chance. Right?
Yes, exactly. Simple, actionable things anyone can do.
Awesome. Well, let's start with something we literally do every day. Eating. How much does nutrition actually impact our immunity?
I'd say it's foundational, really. We're not just talking about fuel here.
Okay.
The food we eat, it literally provides the building blocks our immune system needs to work properly and to, constantly renew itself.
Interesting. So it's like the raw materials for our internal defense force.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And certain nutrients have a direct impact on how different parts of the immune system actually respond to threats.
Fascinating. So let's get specific. What are some of those nutritional powerhouses we should be stocking up on?
Well, vitamin C, it's a classic for a reason.
Yeah. Everyone always says vitamin C for colds.
Right. But there's real science behind it. So you've got your citrus fruits, oranges, lemons, grapefruits. They're all packed with vitamin C. It acts as a powerful antioxidant. And what that means is it helps protect your cells from damage.
Including those immune cells, the little warriors we were talking about.
Exactly. It helps with the production of those cells and also keeps them functioning properly.
Got it. So it's not just about quantity, it's about quality too.
Right. And then there's garlic. I mean, garlic is incredible.
I love garlic.
Me too. It has this compound called allicin. And allicin has been shown to have antimicrobial and antiviral properties.
Wow. So it's like fighting on multiple fronts.
It really is.
Yeah.
And people have been using garlic for its health benefits forever, like way back.
Traditional wisdom, right.
And now modern science is catching up and confirming some of that. It's really amazing.
Okay, so garlic is on the list. What about when you're already feeling a bit icky, like a little scratchy throat or stuffy nose? Anything that can help then?
Well, ginger can be a real lifesaver in those situations. I mean, everyone knows about ginger for nausea, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But it's also really well known for its anti-inflammatory properties.
Okay, inflammation. That word comes up a lot with health stuff. How does that connect to immunity, though?
Well, think about it this way. When your body's constantly dealing with inflammation, it's like having all these little fires going on internally.
Oh, I see. So it's distracted, basically.
Yes. It's using up resources to deal with those fires instead of focusing on the bigger threats, like infections. So ginger can help by calming those fires down, and that indirectly allows your immune system to function better.
Interesting. So less internal chaos means more energy for the real battles. Makes sense. Now, another thing I've been hearing more about lately is the gut microbiome.
Oh, yeah, that's a hot topic for good reason.
Right. Everyone's talking about gut health, but how does that actually tie into immunity?
Well, it's a huge connection.
Yeah.
You see, a big part of your immune system is actually located in your gut.
Whoa, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's amazing. So when we talk about foods like yogurt, especially those with live and active cultures, we're talking about probiotics.
Probiotics, yeah. Those are the good bacteria, right?
Exactly. And they help maintain a healthy balance of all the different bacteria in your gut. You can think of your gut like a garden, and these good bacteria are all like the beneficial insects, keeping everything in check.
I love that analogy.
And a balanced gut microbiome is absolutely essential for a strong immune response.
So we need to cultivate that inner garden, huh? Okay, are there any other foods that are kind of surprising in terms of their immune benefits?
Absolutely. Nuts and seeds,
Yeah.
like almonds, sunflower seeds, they're packed with vitamin E. And vitamin E is another one of those essential nutrients that acts as a powerful antioxidant, protecting your cells from damage.
So that handful of trail mix is doing more than just giving you energy.
Exactly. It's like a little boost for your immune system.
Great reminder. Okay, so we've got all these great food choices, but there's one super basic thing I want to touch on. Water.
Oh my gosh, yes, water.
I know, it seems so obvious, but sometimes we forget about it, right?
Totally. We can get caught up in all the fancy stuff and forget about the basics.
So how does staying hydrated actually help our immunity?
Well, remember how we were talking about the body being a complex system?
Yeah.
Well, water is essential for every single function in that system. It's like the transportation network, making sure everything flows smoothly.
Makes sense.
And that includes your immune cells. They need to travel around the body to do their job, and they need water to do that efficiently.
Oh, so when you're dehydrated, those little warriors are basically stuck in traffic.
Pretty much. They can't get where they need to be as quickly.
Not good. Okay, so we're taking notes. Eat those immune-boosting foods and drink that water. Got it.
Hydration is key.
Now, let's move on to our daily habits. Like, how do the things we do every day or don't do affect our immunity?
Well, this is where consistency is so important.
Okay, consistency with what?
With everything, but especially sleep.
Sleep, yes. Tell me about it.
I know, right? But seriously, getting enough good quality sleep is absolutely crucial. We're talking 7 to 9 hours a night, ideally.
Easier said than done for some of us, but why is it so important for our immune system?
Because that's when your body does most of its repair and regeneration.
Oh, right, like a nightly tune-up.
Exactly. And that includes all those vital immune processes. When you're chronically sleep deprived, your immune system gets weaker, plain and simple.
So we need to make sleep a priority, not a luxury. Got it. What about exercise? Does that help or hurt?
Exercise is a huge one, and it doesn't have to be anything crazy. Regular, moderate exercise like walking, swimming, yoga, even just getting up and moving around throughout the day, it all makes a difference.
Okay, so even small bits of movement count.
They really do.
Yeah.
Because exercise helps improve circulation, and better circulation means your immune cells can travel around the body more efficiently, getting to where they're needed faster.
Like a well-oiled machine.
Exactly. Plus, exercise is a fantastic stress reliever, and we all know how much stress impacts our immunity.
Stress. That's a big one for me, and I know a lot of our listeners are dealing with it too. How does chronic stress actually affect our ability to fight off those bugs?
Well, when you're stressed, your body releases certain hormones, right?
Right?
And those hormones, over time, can actually suppress your immune system's effectiveness.
Wow, so stress is literally making us more vulnerable.
It is. It's like your body's constantly on high alert, and eventually it just wears down. That's why managing stress is so crucial for immune health.
Okay, stress management techniques. Gotta add that to the list. What kind of things are we talking about here?
There are so many options. Mindfulness, meditation, deep breathing exercises. Spending time in nature is fantastic. And don't underestimate the power of just doing things you enjoy, like hobbies, creative outlets.
So giving ourselves permission to relax and recharge.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's not selfish, it's self-care. And it's directly connected to a healthier immune system.
Love that reframing. Okay, what about some of those not so good habits? The ones we know we should probably cut back on.
Well, I think we all know the big ones. Smoking and excessive alcohol.
Right, not exactly health foods, those two.
Definitely not. Smoking is just bad all around. It impairs the function of your immune cells and makes you way more susceptible to infections.
So another reason to quit if you haven't already.
Absolutely. And alcohol, while a glass of wine here and there is probably fine, overdoing it can also weaken your immune response.
It's all about moderation, like with most things. Okay, so we've covered nutrition, we've covered lifestyle habits. What about the world of natural supplements? Can they really give our immune systems an extra boost?
You know, in certain situations, they can definitely be beneficial, especially if you're not always getting all the nutrients you need from your diet, or if you're going through a particularly stressful time, or, it's cold and flu season.
Right, when you feel like you need extra support.
Exactly. So, for example, vitamin D is super important for immune function.
Yeah, vitamin D seems to be everywhere these days.
For good reason. And a lot of people are actually deficient, especially if they live in places where there's not a lot of sunshine, or if they don't get outside much.
Right, like during the winter months.
Exactly. So supplementing with vitamin D can be a good way to support your immune system, especially in those situations.
Okay, so vitamin D is on the list. What else should we be thinking about?
Zinc is another big one. It's a mineral that plays a key role in how your immune cells function. It's involved in so many different processes. It's really important.
Got it. Zinc for the win.
Yes. And then there's elderberry. You've probably heard of elderberry syrup, right?
Yeah, my grandma used to make it.
It's a classic. And it's gaining popularity again because it's packed with antioxidants. And there's some research suggesting that it might help reduce the length and severity of cold symptoms.
Oh, that's good to know. Any others?
Well, we can't forget about turmeric. Turmeric is amazing. It has such powerful anti-inflammatory properties, which, as we discussed earlier, can indirectly benefit your immune system by reducing overall inflammation in the body.
Right, so it's like ginger in that way.
Exactly. They both help calm those internal fires.
Great to have options, but I do know there's always a bit of a disclaimer when it comes to supplements. What do people need to be aware of?
Oh, absolutely. This is so important. Always talk to your doctor or a qualified healthcare professional before starting any new supplement.
Okay, so no self-prescribing. Why is that so crucial?
Because everyone is different, What works for one person might not work for another. And some supplements can interact with medications or have side effects.
Right, we don't want to create any unintended problems.
Exactly. So get personalized advice from a professional who knows your medical history.
That's great advice. It's like anything with health, really. There's no one-size-fits-all solution.
Totally. It's about finding what works best for you as an individual.
Okay, so we've covered so much ground today, from the power of specific foods to the importance of healthy habits, and even the potential of natural supplements. Let's wrap things up by bringing it all together for our listeners. What are the key takeaways here?
Well, I think the biggest takeaway is that supporting your immune system is really about a holistic approach. It's not about one magic bullet, but about making a series of choices that work together.
Okay, so multiple layers of support.
Exactly. So start with your diet. Make sure you're eating plenty of those nutrient-rich foods we talked about, and then focus on those daily habits. Make time for regular exercise, prioritize quality sleep, find healthy ways to manage stress, and try to minimize those things that weaken your immunity, like smoking and excessive alcohol.
Right, those foundational pillars of health.
And then, if you feel like you need an extra boost, talk to your healthcare provider about whether natural supplements might be right for you.
Awesome. So it's really about empowering ourselves with knowledge and making those positive changes, even small ones, consistently.
Absolutely. Because even small changes over time can have a huge impact on your overall health and well-being.
I love that. Building that resilience from within.
That's what it's all about.
This has been such an informative deep dive. It's so helpful to understand not just the what, but also the why. So as we wrap up, I want to leave our listeners with a question.
Ooh, I love a good question.
Me too. It keeps us thinking. So, out of all the things we've talked about today, all those different strategies for supporting your immune system, from those delicious nutrient-packed foods to prioritizing sleep and managing stress, and even the potential of targeted supplements, what feels like the most achievable, impactful first step you could take in your own life right now?
That's a great question to reflect on.
It is. What resonates with you? What feels doable and sustainable? Because sometimes just taking that first step is the most important part of the journey.
I couldn't agree more. Small steps lead to big changes.
Exactly. So thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone, and happy immune boosting.
To your health.